Mary and Preston, retired Staff Sergeant Dan Blakely served 3 tours in Iraq and 3 more in Afghanistan. He says in this current conflict, well, Ukraine may be outmatched, but still, they are shooting down enemy aircraft and even forced some Russian troops to surrender. As Ukrainian forces defend against Russian advances on multiple fronts, the groundwork laid by the U.S. military is coming into play.
I'm certain that Special Operations has played a pretty key role in making sure that Ukrainians were ready for this to happen.
Retired U.S. Army Ranger Dan Blakely says as Russia built up its forces along the border, America's elite fighting units have been lending their expertise to Ukraine, and it's showing results.
They were trying to do an air assault. The Russians were trying to do an air assault and take over that airport, and the Ukrainians pushed them back.
Blakely, who co-authored a book about his special operations experiences in the Middle East, says many rank-and-file Russian soldiers have family in Ukraine, and some are wary of President Vladimir Putin's motives.
You've seen one unit already surrender to the Ukrainian forces, telling the Ukrainian forces that they didn't even know they were going in there to fight.
Blakely says the economic sanctions will hurt, but Putin was prepared for that and has been stockpiling natural resources and financial capital to keep his war effort running. Blakely thinks Putin is bent on recapturing other former Soviet states. He says Ukrainians have the resolve to fight for their homeland or die trying, but in the end thinks the real onus is on Russia.
I think it's going to take, again, the Russian forces to either drop their weapons themselves and turn around, or it's going to take Putin's inner circle to say, hey, you've got to put an end to this, and that'll end the war.
Rallies in support of Ukraine have been taking place across Seattle, from the Space Needle to the University of Washington. They're denouncing Russia's invasion, saying that swift and severe consequences must be imposed. KOMO's Cole Miller has more.
Draped in their country's flag and singing its national anthem, a collection of voices, those words signifying strength and to fight for freedom until the very end. Ukrainians like Sofia Fedora calling for an end to Russia's invasion.
Right now, my family is in Kyiv. It was extremely painful for me watching all this news.
A Fulbright scholar at the University of Washington, Fedora, and hundreds of others came together on the school's campus.
It's not just invasion in Ukraine, but invasion in Europe.
To explain the magnitude of what's unfolding.
We need military aid, we need financial aid, and we need economic aid.
With an all-out war underway, many fear Russian President Vladimir Putin is just getting started. Ola Krupa is a professor at Seattle University.
You have to understand that Putin is the new Hitler, and Ukraine is not the beginning of his warmongering, and it's not the end.
She says sanctions simply will not cut it, that Putin has shown there's no diplomacy or conversation that can intervene.
For him, it's not a military operation or a financial transaction. It's ideological war that is like the mission of his life.
Urging the U.S. to step in and help. For now, there is at least some hope, and it looks like this.
I find here my own family, my new family, that can support me and give me strength.
In Seattle, Cole Miller, KOMO News.
Strong words today from members of our state's congressional delegation over Russia's invasion. Many are calling on U.S. and NATO allies to take swift action and to send a strong message to Russian President Vladimir Putin. KOMO's Steve McCarran is live in Seattle. And Steve, the impact of all of this could be felt right here at home.
And Mary, likely will be felt in some capacity here in the coming days and weeks, especially if this conflict in Ukraine drags out over an extended period of time.
Do you think this is something that can be resolved fairly quickly?
It's going to be a long time.
Congressman Adam Smith warning the conflict unfolding tonight thousands of miles away in Ukraine likely won't end anytime soon.
This aggression cannot go unanswered.
He's one of several members of our state's congressional delegation supporting a series of sanctions announced by President Biden today against Russia. Democrat Kim Schreier calls the invasion a breach of global peace and stability.
The most important thing we can do right now is stand strong, say we absolutely are opposed to this action, and we stand with the Ukrainian people.
Republican Dan Newhouse says the free world depends on swift action from the U.S. and its NATO allies, as he referred to Russian President Vladimir Putin and his regime as criminal thugs. Fellow Republican Kathy McMorris Rogers called on freedom to prevail. In a global economy, Congressman Derek Kilmer told me there's likely to be an impact felt here.
And the fault lies right at the doorstep of Vladimir Putin. This was a choice to choose reckless aggression, and the world community is going to stand up against it.
What's unclear tonight is how severe the impact will be. Smith says access to some goods might be limited over time, adding the U.S. does not have a huge economic relationship with Russia, but certainly energy costs are likely to go up.
A lot of people are thinking about gas prices in particular, especially when they've been so high recently, and the concerns over those potentially going up even more.
Absolutely. And Russia is one of the largest energy producers in the world. Certainly the folks in Europe are going to be a lot closer to the problem than we are.
Hey, everybody, I'm Eric Johnson from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and all of Western Washington. And don't forget to click the subscribe button below